Hey guys, Anthony Michael with Dean and Tony Saw Shop here. I've had a few requests to make a quick video on how to throw your bar and chain on really quick. I mean, this may sound silly to some of the people out there who have chainsaws and are familiar with them. This is specifically for people who have never owned one and now have one and want to know how to do it. All you're going to need is a 5/16 socket like this, and a flathead screwdriver about this size. That's it, guys. And then, optional, something to, we're not going to use the tape measure for what its purpose is. We're just going to use it to rest under the saw. I'll show you what I mean. First things first, we're going to take off the clutch cover. Loosen the nuts on the outside of the clutch cover, okay? Also want to mention, guys, they do not have to be torqued to the max. Do not torque these nuts so much that you strip the studs. And what will happen is you'll actually break the studs off of the actual oil tank. I'll show you what I mean. So yeah, first things first, we're going to take the clutch cover off. Okay. Our washers and nuts here. Alright, now this is where the handy tape measure comes in, okay? Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I like to put this under here because look, without that foot on the clutch cover, it wants to fall forward. I like to just put something under here for a minute. That's all, just like that. Hope y'all can see this. Okay, move this out of the way. Now we're going to take the guide bar plates off, and then there's a little tensioner piece right here in the bar. Just pull the bar off of it, wiggle it off, boom, just like that. Push the bar back towards the clutch like that, and then you're just going to gently work the chain off, scratching your bar up and all that, just like this. And then I grab it right here and carefully take it off from around the clutch. Boom, there's your chain. And then you just slide this off. Boom, you're done, okay? That's taking it off. Now, putting it back on, okay? Down here, you have this little nub. This is the tensioner bolt. You're going to get your flathead screwdriver. You see right in the front here, there's a flathead screw. Okay. You're going to turn that counterclockwise until that tensioner is seated all the way in the back. Seat that all the way back here. Okay. Boom, far enough. That's step one. Also, really quick, what I wanted to say, when you're putting the nuts back on, when you're doing the clutch cover, you don't want to do it so tight, y'all, because these will break, and these are casted inside of here. And when they break, you can't just get new ones. You're going to have to replace this whole part of the oil tank to be able to replace that and fix it, or take the oil tank off and weld it back in from the inside of the oil tank. You don't want to do that, y'all. Trust me, you don't want to go that route. It's not worth it, okay? Now, back to this. Throw your cover on. Get your bar. Get it over the studs like this. And make sure that the tensioner is in the hole where it belongs. Then you're going to get your chain. Make sure your chain's going in the right direction, y'all. Like this. Around the clutch. In the track. Like this. Rest it in there. Okay. Now, once you got your chain back in the track, just rested, get your flathead screwdriver, go back to the tensioner bolt, and start turning it clockwise to get all the slack out of the chain. It's in a weird position, so I mean, may take a minute. I recommend a thin flathead screwdriver so you don't scratch the saw up if you're worried about that, and you know, so that way you have more room to maneuver the tool. You know. As you can see, the slack is going out. Alright, so we don't want it super tight right now, but you want it snug. Not right there, you still want to be able to move it with your hands. Alright, just like that. Turn it a little bit more. Right there, it's good. Now, get your other bar plate, throw that over the studs. Then we're going to tilt the saw up just a little bit. Make sure we get the nuts and bolts out of the way. Washers. Just like that. Also crucial, folks, get this out of there. Crucial, when you go to put this clutch cover back on, all right, you want to make sure that the tip, this part of the clutch cover goes under like this. Okay, see how that lip went under here? Do not tighten it while it's, if this part is touching here when you tighten it, it will crack the clutch cover right here. It will crack here and it'll spread here, or it'll bust this off. It has to go under this lip, okay, or you're gonna have a lot of problems. All right, now we're gonna do washers. Put your washers on and the nuts. You know, it's just a little. My left hand is absolutely useless, guys. I apologize. Get started. I know there's people that say, oh, they only need to be finger tight. That's absolutely ridiculous. You can use a wrench, but I'm just saying you don't have to over tighten them. You don't have to, and you really shouldn't. At first you want them finger tight, just a little bit tight, y'all. That's it. That's it on that one. Because you still want to be able to go over here to this tensioner bolt once the clutch cover's back on, and you want to be able to get the rest of that slack out, you know, and if these are too tight, it won't move. So just a little bit of that right there. Still move it. And just one tiny little tighten like that. Boom. That is not over tightened. That's what you want. And I can still move the chain with my hands. And there you have it. That's how you take off and put on your 17-inch Poulan bar. I hope this video was helpful.